Alrighty, so today we're going to look at creating a T slot box. Not something we use very much, the actual T slots, but it's a useful sort of tool, and will show us how to kind of create a container, which you may use for other projects that remain sort of consistent when we make changes to it. So that's what we're going to work with today. So we'll go ahead. I'm saving it here, making starting with a new component, which we'll call it T-slot box. And I just want to think about the origin point as the center of this box, which means that I'm not going to draw on any of the planes that currently exist. I want to make some different planes. In addition, I want to make some parameters here. So we're going to make a height parameter. And the numbers you give here don't really matter. I'm just going to choose 4, 5, and 6. We'll make a depth parameter, or sorry, let's do width. We're going to do width and depth. So we can do width. We'll make it 5, and then we also need a depth parameter. We can make that 6. And these will change, certainly. And also a material thickness. Just imagine we're going to be laser cutting this, and it would be out of 1/8 inch acrylic or wood or something like that. So go ahead and put in a placeholder for that as well. So we've got our parameters in, which are going to help us here in the beginning because we're going to make some offset planes. And so this one is going to represent our depth. And again, because I want it to be the origin to be the center, we're going to make this depth. If I can type here. And we want to make sure also that it's half of depth. Now we can use, by doing this, we'll be able to use the origin planes as mirror tools. So I'm just going to kind of continue with this. We'll create a width divided by 2. So we've got a plane here and one more for height. So I will now have a series of offset planes that I can use to draw my geometry. And now I can use the original planes as mirror tools. So let's go ahead and get started with the first sketch. We'll do it right here. I'm going to start with a rectangle. And we're just going to go ahead and give it the height and width parameters that we just wrote in there. So yours may look different if your height and width parameters are different. But again, these are meant so that we can change them. So you can do whatever you want. I'm going to add some construction geometry to help me with some mirroring here. And we're going to go ahead and start doing the kind of drawing out the T-slots. We'll start with a 2-point rectangle. And I'm going to constrain this edge with the material thickness. And we'll constrain the top to a midpoint. And then we'll give it a kind of width of 1. So now we've got a rectangle, and then we can draw the actual T-slot off of that. So I'm just going to sketch out the geometry without any dimensions first. And then I'll go ahead and add my dimensions in. So depending on the screws that you're using, this could all change, but we'll just put in some general values here. 0.25, 0.125. We'll do 0.25 here. And we'll do thickness. We'll just call this material thickness divided by 2. Again, this would all really depend on the size of the screw that you're using for this. And then I need to add some dimension here. We're going to just call this 0.05. And then I want to get these two lines collinear here. So kind of hard to see. This line and this line here need to be collinear. So we'll just give that constraint. That should fully constrain it. And then we'll go ahead and we're going to mirror those lines across our construction line. So we'll just go ahead and do that. And we'll be doing this a couple of times because it's really the only way I know of, at least, to get this to adjust in a meaningful way. So we'll do that. So now it can be mirrored, but we're going to go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead. Let's go ahead and mirror it, I guess. Let's mirror it across. Make sure we grab all these lines. Do a lot of clicking today. There we go. Almost done. And now we'll just mirror that across. Now I'm going to actually redraw that T-slot. So we'll start with our 2-point rectangle again. Give it a material thickness. Or actually, yeah, we can give this one a material thickness because that's constant. But this, I'm now going to go and grab the dimension from the other one. So I'm just going to go up there, click here. So that it's always the same, and I would only have to change one. We'll do a midpoint constraint. And now we'll draw out the rest of the T-slot here. Again, I'll start with the shape. And I'll do the same thing I did where I'm just going to add my dimensions. I'm going to go and grab the ones from above. So I'm going to just go and click. That means, again, I just have to change one dimension and these will change as well. So that's just the benefit of that. It could also have been parameters, but I'm not doing it for this because we're not being too specific with these T-slots. So just work your way around. And then you will have to probably make these lines collinear again. And there we go. So we'll do another mirror, and then we'll mirror both these across, and we'll be ready with our first piece here. This one's probably got the most work out of all the pieces we're going to make today. And because it's a 6-sided box, we only really need to make 3 pieces. We'll do mirroring to get the others. So now I'm just going to mirror my sketch geometry across. If you can't get a line, that little line, just hold down with the left click, and then you'll get the option to choose it. That's a handy trick for choosing geometry that's kind of on top of one another. This guy, this guy, this guy, and now we'll mirror across. Grabbing this mirror line. There we go. We can see we've done that. So this is now ready for extrusion. So we'll go ahead and extrude. And we'll just do, so we need to go backwards because the extent of this is our depth. And we'll do a material thickness on that. It may need to be negative material thickness. Just depends on how you've actually drawn this all out. But you don't want it to go forward of your plane. You need it to go backwards because you want the ultimate thickness to be 6. So now I've mirrored that, and we're ready to put a sketch on the width plane and draw that. We're going to project geometry here to kind of help us out. So I'm going to project all of this. And we're going to get down in here to get that little rectangle down there. There, and we'll do this. We're going to grab this guy here so we get a little more geometry down there. And this guy gives us that little rectangle. And we'll kind of do the same for this edge. We're just saving ourselves some time here. Instead of having to redraw things, we're just projecting geometry from the previous shape here into it. This is going to really help us draw a little bit less. So the way that these T-slots work is you've got the slot, and then you've got circular holes to accept the screw into the slot. So the piece that we just drew had 4 T-slots. This piece is going to have 2 T-slots and 2 basically holes for screws to go through. You'll see kind of what that looks like here in a second. I'm just going to draw out these horizontal lines to connect our part across. And now I'm putting in a construction line because we need a circle for the screw hole, so to accept the screw. So I'll just make it 0.1, and I'll draw another construction line here so that I can mirror that across. Just draw this upwards, turn it into construction line. Now I can mirror the circle across. Oops, I got two pieces of geometry here. Let's just do that again. And we'll mirror it. Okay, so the circle's on the outside. Now on the top, I'm just going to redraw. This is the last time, I swear. We will redraw a T-slot. And then that will get mirrored to the bottom as well. So we'll go ahead and do that real quick. So we'll again start with a 2-point rectangle. So you'll get some practice with this. We'll give it, let's midpoint it there, and give it a, whoops, we gotta grab that smaller one there, not the big line. There we go. I have to hold down again to get it. Oh, there we got it. Make that 1. Okay, now we'll go ahead and draw our T-slot. Same thing as before. We'll just draw out the general shape, and then I'll give the dimensions after the fact. I was hoping that would hold that line collinear, but I don't think it's going to. Just going to look at this head on here. Just note when I do 0.25 here, the line goes past the other one. So I'm just pulling this line back. It was kind of made my geometry a little weird there. But now it's all fixed, and we go to 0.125, 0.25 here. And let's give this material thickness divided by 2. And then we'll do the 0.05 here. There you go. 0.05. And then I guess, yeah, we got to make it collinear. It doesn't look like it's being collinear. So we'll do that. Now we'll just mirror it. And then we'll mirror the whole thing across to the bottom. We got that set. And we'll do one more mirror here to get it to go across. And I didn't draw a mirror line for that yet. And where's the pop-out menu here? It's gone. That's very strange. I don't see my sketch menu. I think I'm going to end the sketch and then open it back up, see if that fixes my issue. And there it is. Okay, so that helped. That was weird. All right, so now it's a construction line, and now we can go ahead and mirror this across. So just make sure we're going to grab all of this geometry. Again, may have to hold down to get the smaller line, not the long line. They overlap. And we'll go ahead and grab all of this stuff here for the slot. Okay, and it's mirrored. So now we need to extrude this, and it's just need to be careful of what we're extruding. You can see which part it's going to go backwards. So which parts are actually don't want to make contact with the material itself. So just keep an eye on what we're actually needing to extrude here. We'll get these, and then we'll come in here again. Get that, and that's it. You're not getting the sort of top edges on the side there and the bottom edges. We'll move it back. We'll make it a new body, and we'll make sure we're going material thickness as the distance. And again, it could be negative material thickness. It depends on what you've done. So now we can mirror this part across. Oops, grab the wrong one. Let me try that again. Grab this, mirror. Perfect. Okay, now we got 4 of the 6. So we'll now do one more sketch here on the height plane that we created in the beginning. And this one should be pretty easy because we basically have all the geometry we need. So we're just going to project it all in. So it will come across and we'll just begin projecting all this stuff that we need. And this one will have no T slots in it. It will just have holes for the screws, which will probably make this a lot easier. All we have to do is draw those out and mirror them across. So this one should take a little less time to do. And we're mirroring the majority of the geometry here, which is also very nice and simple. So I think I've got it all put in here. And we're going to need some construction lines so that we can mirror. So I'll just draw these up. Let me turn this to see it a little bit better. Sure. And we'll get one over here. So now I've got those. I'll just draw, we'll draw our circle in. Let's just put another construction line in here so that it will definitely be at the center. And make this one not a construction line. Whoops, wrong thing there. There we go. Make this 0.1. And let's draw another one over here. So construction line down like this. And let's make sure. Oops, I think I turned that off. Here, we'll draw our circle, 0.1. And we can mirror more than. I'm going to cancel this. And it's like, I'm going to fix this real quick. So that should be a construction line. Okay. Now let's mirror cross. There we go. And we'll mirror the other one. So here we are zooming in, getting ready to mirror. There we go. So we got this one and we'll get the mirror line. There we go. And now we got that. So now we can go ahead and extrude this one. And again, pay attention to which portions of this we need to extrude. And it'll be the same at each little intersection here. And there we go, one more. And again, this will be extruded inwards and it'll be a new body and we'll do it material thickness. Oh, I think I messed that up. Get it one more time here. Yeah, make sure this is material thickness. And okay. And now we can mirror this guy across. Using the original plane, new body, perfect. Okay, so now we've done that. This should be completely adjustable now. I'm just going to give it some color so that the corresponding faces look the same. So the faces that were mirrored from each other are going to be the same colors. You can certainly color this however you want to, but that just kind of helps me to see those faces. I'm just choosing any colors here. All right, so now I've got that. So let's now check our parameters and make sure that this is adjusting in the way that we think it should. Whoops. Nope. Parameters. Just going to make this smaller so it doesn't take up the whole thing here. And we'll just go ahead and change some things. And you can see how it flattened and everything looks correct, doesn't look broken. I can change this one. Now it's widened out. Again, it still looks fine. This parameter looks good. And now let's see if I can make, let's say we're using a 1/4 inch material. Will that change? And here it's all changing as expected. And so yours should be doing the same, hopefully. But that's all there is for this specific project. We'll be using this in the afterwards to learn about configurations. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please let me know if you have any questions.